I met a gypsy.
I wanted to talk a bit about Star Racing Yamaha. So you said you're like, dude, I just want to get on that cycle trader bike because Yamaha figured something out with that 250. That thing is good. Like for a stock bike, there's probably not a better stock motorcycle than a YZ 250F. So like, was that a factor in that wanting to be at Cycle Trader? Like, did you know, was it just that team or was it that bike in particular where you're like, I got to be on that particular stock base package?
Yeah, it was just that bike in particular, 100%. Like I had, friends that trained at Robbie's that had Yamahas, and obviously at the time I didn't have a bike, so I would just kind of ride whatever somebody would let me ride for the day. And I rode the Yamaha 250, and I'm like, holy hell, like I just spent 2015 on this Crossland Honda, and I ride the stock bike, and it's just unbelievable. I was like, I can't believe how good it is. So for me, once I realized like how sick it was, 2015
Honda to that Yamaha,
yeah, I was like, holy shit. So, and then obviously the success the team had at the time, like my buddy Coop was on it, they were crushing it, he was winning things left and right. They seemed like that new bike ever since they got away from the carbureted Yamaha and they went to this bike. It was unreal. Like they just started winning everything. So I was like, there's got to be something there. And, whenever I did the Cycle Trader thing, that was always the goal. Like that was going to be the stepping stone to try to get to Star. I mean, and how I got that ride was I was out here in California living with Justin, and that year on Cycle Trader, because I did West Coast, and anytime I heard they were going to Milestone, I went to Milestone. And I hopped in behind them every time. I hopped in front of them. I did whatever I had to do just to be like, dude, this kid's annoying, but I just wanted to get in the way. Like, I'm sure they were probably pissed, but dude, I was like, I got to go prove my point somehow that I can ride this bike and I want to be on this team. And that's literally how it happened.
Sick.
Dude, like Gareth Swanepoel obviously was training all those guys at the time, AP, Coop, and dude, one day in particular, I was just feeling it at Milestone, and dude, I got in front of those dudes and I just walked away from them, like Coop, everybody. And that was literally that day. Gareth told me, he called Bobby on the phone and was like, dude, we got to sign this kid. Like, dude's sick. Like, he just waxed all of our dudes at Milestone. And I was a Milestone assassin because that's the only track I could ride. Like, I couldn't go to Yamaha at the time, so I was there every day. And anytime they went anywhere else, I followed them. And I just constantly was doing that. And they probably hated it. But that's literally how that happened. That's how it came together. I was just that guy. And it happened to work out that way. But yeah, that bike is unreal. Yeah, that's literally how it happened. It's pretty funny. Like when Swanee told me that, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I didn't think it would, but that's pretty funny.
Dude, that's some legit G shit right there.
Yeah, I just got to do what you got to do sometimes. Not the best way to do it, but at the time, I just thought that was the only way I could do it. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to get in behind those dudes. And I kind of, obviously I was friends with Coop, so I used that as my in a little bit. And I was just like, yo, where y'all going today? And he was like, oh, we're going to Milestone. I'm like, all right, I'll see you there. I'll hop in behind you too.
That's so
try to give you some smoke or do whatever I can do, just to try to get some attention of somebody. And luckily it worked.
Dude, that's insane. I had no idea. Like, man, there was always those guys that were like pull in front of the boys at the track and you're just like, fuck off, bro.
Yeah. Literally just hate them. And that's why I really didn't want to be that guy. I really didn't. But I was like, dude, I got to do something. Like, I don't want to be annoying. And I never really did anything too crazy where I just hop in right in front of them or whatever. But they would go by in a freight train, because they all train together. And I'm just starting my moto, and I'm hopping in right behind them. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just get as close as I can to them, see what happens. And, that's how I got the attention. And then, like I said, I had Coop as a little bit of an in there, to try to figure out where they were going so I could follow them around. But that was literally how it happened. And then I got second place at Oakland, the Cycle Trader year. And then right after that, the race was Saturday night. Sunday, Bobby called me. I was like, hey, dude, I heard you've been ripping at Milestone. Like, you just got on the podium. We want you to come ride for Star Racing. And in that moment, I was like, holy shit, it worked. I was like, I could not believe that worked. Like, honestly, couldn't believe it. And then the first time I talked to Swanee on the phone, and, he was going to be my trainer for the next year because obviously he trained all the dudes. And he was telling me that story, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I was like, I literally hope that would happen. I cannot believe it worked that way. Like, that's incredible. Like, it was honestly one of those moments where I was like, it worked. I cannot believe it worked that way, but it did.
Dude, I'm tripping. Like, that's an insanely cool story, man. Like, you don't hear that much.
No, it was wild. Because I kind of halfway tried to do that before. Crossland Honda days. We came out here and rode a little bit, but I just wasn't ready to do that yet. You know, I didn't have enough Supercross experience. I wasn't at a point that I needed to do that yet. And then once I got on the Cycle Trader bike and I felt fast and good, and I knew I was good at that point. You know, I felt like I'd done what I needed to do, and I'd put in the work, and I knew I was going fast. So I was like, okay, let's do it now. Like, what better time to do it than right now? That's the team I want to be on, so I'm just going to go out there and try to annoy these guys until they give me a ride. And that's literally exactly what happened. That podium obviously was the thing that kind of set it off, but before that, I was definitely trying to make my point as much as I could. And I got on the podium, and that's exactly what I needed. That was the big breakthrough. That's what we needed to actually get on the team. So it was kind of a cool story looking back on it now, the way it played out to get to where I'm at, for sure.
Man, yeah, that's insane. And so what was the phone call like from Bobby Reagan? Like, do you remember the way that you felt, and do you remember how the conversation went down, and like the emotions that, because like that's the phone call, dude. That's the one that you need to have. Yeah,
I mean that was the one. That's the only one I care. That's the one I wanted. You know, I'm like, I need Bobby Reagan to call me. And that Sunday, he was the first one to actually call me. And then that Monday or Tuesday, you know, I got a call from Tyler Keefe and you know, from a handful of these other teams trying to do something. And my mind was made up. You know, in 2015, you know, what team I was going to. I didn't care about the money. I mean, it was going to be cool, but I wasn't going to go somewhere else over $50,000. I was like, I don't care. I just want that bike. And then after that, we'll figure it out. But yeah, when Bobby called me, man, he was he's a pretty straightforward dude. Like, you never are wondering where his head's at. He's going to tell you. And I respect the hell out of that. Yeah. And I didn't really know him obviously before, but whenever he called me, he straight up was just like, listen, we want you to ride for this team. I feel like you're a damn good Supercross rider. We want to go see if you can give us a title. You know, and we're going to make this thing happen. And he was so confident in the fact that I was going to ride for that team and I was going to win and I was going to do all this shit that I didn't question it. I was just like, yeah, 100%. Let's go. Like, I'll be there tomorrow, you know, like, let's sign the bitch and let's go. And that's literally what happened. We negotiated a little bit, and, you know, because I did have some other teams that were interested, but like I said, my mind was pretty made up from the get-go. And once I signed with a team, it was pretty like, wow, you know. And my dad was obviously losing it. He was like, dude, you made it. I'm like, well, we didn't make it, but I mean, this is the first step in getting to where we want to go, you know, like being on a factory team is a sick. So that was a big moment for me. And that phone call with Bobby was something I'll probably never forget, you know, just how he was so confident in the fact that I was going to come to this team and I was going to train with this guy, and the bike is so good and the program's so sick that I'm going to go make it happen. And I'm just like, let's go. Like, I'm ready for whatever. Let's give it a shot, you know? And that was a pretty damn cool feeling.
Man, I can't even imagine. That's so cool. Like, and to just like to know that you deserve something when you get it. Like, I've gotten cool shit before where I'm like, it's fucking cool, but like, I kind of got lucky that I got given that. But when you get something that you really earn, you're like, I fucking deserve this, bro. Like, that's a cool feeling.
Yeah, it was, man. It was just one of those things where I was just like, Jesus Christ, finally. You know, like, I thought this was going to happen 5 years ago, you know, and it didn't. But whenever I did get that phone call and I finally signed that contract and sent it back, I was like, God damn, like, that is huge. Like, I needed that for so long. I worked my ass off to get that. I had to go to Costa Rica. I did arena cross. Like, I did all this shit, and it was for this. It was for this whole thing. I mean, this was the plan from the get-go, you know, and the fact that it happened like that, I just was, I was in awe for a while. I really was. Like, the rest of the Supercross season, I was riding on a high. I was like, no one can touch me. Like, I might go get fourth tonight, but I'm signing with Star Racing, and I'm going to be there next year. I don't care. Like, this is sick. So, it was just, man, it was incredible. It was, in a sense, sad. You know, I had to leave Robbie and a guy I'd been with for years, and a guy that really took me through the trenches to get to that point. And, you know, then I'd, you know, go train with Swanee and do all this stuff. But he was genuinely happy for me. You know, that's how you know you got good people around you, where he wasn't like salty. He was just like, man, you know, if it's going to take you to the next level, I want you to do it. You know, I want you to go do that, you know, and go try to chase this dream. And man, that was just a kudos to him, because he could have been salty about it. You know, he got me to that point, and dude, I was eating his food and living in his house for free, and like, we couldn't pay him to be at a training facility, you know, like most of these kids can, but he was just like, dude, I'll do whatever I can for you. Like, come live in my house. Like, you know, we'll pay for the groceries. I didn't buy shit when I was there. I couldn't. I had no money, you know. So, like, he literally just had to dad me around. Like, him and his wife Ashley were essentially my second parents, and did everything they could for me. And then when it was time, I had to leave, and he was genuinely happy for me, which was pretty cool. It was sad at the same time, but it was a cool thing that it happened that way, and I got to go be on Star and try to make it happen.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.